Welcome to In the Kitchen with Dinah. Today we're making peanut brittle.
Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Gonna taste good, I know.
Peanut brittle has a long time tradition in my family, and when I met my husband, I found out it was his grandmother's very favorite thing. So today I'm going to show you how to make it. A lot of people get afraid of making candies during the holidays, but let me tell you, it's really easy. So let's head over to the stove. Peanut brittle really only has 3 or 4 ingredients to it. The only special things that you'll need is a candy thermometer, and most grocery stores during the holidays have these in abundance, hopefully. So they're usually glass like this. I think they're metal as well, and they have a little clip to go on your pan. So that is probably the thing that you will need most for this. And I put it in my pan. You don't want it touching the bottom. You want it just a little up. See how I can probably get a finger underneath it? That's where I keep it, and we're gonna watch all these degrees very carefully. All right, so the first thing we do is turn it on to medium. We're gonna put 2 cups of sugar, just plain granulated sugar. 1 cup of water. And then a cup of corn syrup. This takes forever to get out of the bottle, but let me just tell you, it's worth it. Okay, we're gonna call that good. I'm gonna leave that upside down. This is definitely the must be patient cooking this item. We're gonna have to wait for it to get to 234 degrees. That is called soft. Oh my gosh, soft ball. So if you're making other candies like fudge, I believe that's how hot you get fudge, to the softball stage. Okay. I would make sure you have a sturdy pot, and then I use a good wooden spoon. This one's made gallons and gallons of peanut brittle, you can tell, but I like it because it has the flat bottom on it. So then I just kind of get it all stirred around in here. It takes a little bit for it to get even boiling. All right, so that's pretty well mixed up. This is also one thing where you don't want to be distracted when you're making it. You want to make sure you're staying in the kitchen. If you've got little kids, maybe dad or somebody can help you out with them, because once it gets to, it's really hot when we get it up to the hard crack, it's really dangerous. So I just want to let you know ahead of time, if you do have small kids or pets or anything, make sure they're out of the kitchen, out of your way, because it does get boiling and super hot. So as we wait for this to come to a boil, we're gonna get our pan ready. So some of the things, I get all this ready while I'm waiting for it to boil. We got a cooling rack under your cookie sheet, and I just take a stick of butter, it has to be butter, and we're gonna butter the pan, and I just hack off a cube of the butter and go at it. You really wanna get it coated so that it doesn't stick.
It's like butter marker.
Yeah. And then now for the whole holiday season, this will be my peanut brittle butter. I guess I have better fingers. I'm gonna unwrap it just a tiny bit. This has become one of my kids' favorites, the in-laws' favorites. Everywhere I take it, everybody seems to love it. I had it growing up my whole life, and so did my mom and dad, so they've just carried on the tradition for like 100 years. All right, so you want it really well buttered, really well buttered. I know you like butter.
Really good, Mom.
And then you can use this stick of butter for whatever else you do. I make so much that it really becomes the peanut brittle butter. Peanut brittle butter. I'll say that 10 times fast. So I'm just going to put this back in the fridge. So we're going to check on the sugar and water mixture. And it's starting to dissolve. You want to keep it moving on the bottom of your pan. This really does take some time to get it to boil, but good things take time. All right, so I just kind of stand here and I stir it and I just enjoy some holiday music maybe. But once you start cooking this and you add the peanuts, man, it smells so good. All right, so it's really starting to roll in the boil and you just want to keep that going. Right now what's happening is all of the water is evaporating off and it's going to get all of that evaporated off so it can be like this thick, syrupy, sugary, delicious thing. Spanish peanuts, that is one of the key ingredients for peanut brittle. I always find mine at Winco in the bulk section and they are raw. They have the skin on them. Denver will find that. Raw skin on. You don't want salted, roasted. You want raw Spanish peanuts. And we're going to need 2 cups of those per batch.
Come here, Bob, quick. Get that peanut right there. Okay, go to your spot. Go on, go to your spot.
So you can see now it's turned clear and it's nice and boiling. And let's check our temperature. So we're headed to 234 degrees, and at that point we're going to add some salt, and then we'll add the peanuts, and they're going to roast and cook, and then the peanut brittle starts smelling really fabulous. All right, so we've gotten to our soft ball, which is 234 degrees. Now we're going to add our peanuts, our 2 cups of peanuts, and a couple grinds of salt. And the temperature, because you just added 2 cups of cold peanuts, it's going to dunk the temperature down quite a few degrees. At this point, you want to continue to stir till it comes back to a boil. You don't want anything to burn. Just kind of move it around. The important thing about peanut brittle is precision in your measurements and making sure you get everything to the right temperature. Look at that gooey, drippy, delicious. We lost a ton of temperature and now it's coming back to boiling again. It's loosening up a little. Now our next temperature we're waiting for is 300 degrees. And it takes a little bit to get there, but once it gets close, it goes really fast. So at this point, I kind of don't leave my stove. Oh, smell the peanuts. Starting to roast. So as we're waiting for this to get to its 300 degree mark, there's 2 things that you need to get ready, and I have them over here already. The first thing is a ½ teaspoon of soda, and I always get that out. I get it measured. I set it on my counter. I'm going to just set it right here today. Get it ready to grab. And then also a teaspoon of butter, and I just take some off the butter, and I just set it here. I'll just set it like this. That is going to cause a chemical reaction to happen, and it's going to do all the caramelization for the peanut brittle when it gets to 300, and we'll show you that crazy reaction, but that's what gives it that delicious caramely color, and then the flavor that you get to it.
How are we looking?
We are at almost 275.
Bumper, you need to go and lay down in your spot because this mom said this is hot sugar. You can't stay in here.
Go lay down.
Go lay down. You have to lay down. Go on. Go lay down. Go on. Good boy.
It gets really thick and hard to stir.
Oh, we're getting close.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you reducing the heat?
I just took it off because it's doing just fine. Man, we're getting close. Right, it's reached 300, so at this point, I take out my thermometer because it's super hot. We're gonna put in the half a teaspoon of baking soda and your teaspoon of butter. That was a scant teaspoon. As the soda gets hot and the butter melts, it gets foamy, it's gonna start to caramelize. This is when you get your exercise on your arm. I think that's good.
That's beautiful.
Right, as soon as you get that done, we've got our greased cookie sheet. You're just gonna pour it out on there. It comes out of the pan pretty quick. Get all those peanuts out. Then with a pot holder on your hand, because the cookie sheet gets super hot, I spread it out. Man, if you guys could smell this. I get it nice and flat, almost all the way to the edges. And as soon as you can see, as soon as it hits that cold cookie sheet, it really thickens up. It starts to cool. I usually make this in the evening. And then I let it cool on the cookie sheet almost till morning because it's gonna set up and get like really brittle and glassy, and then we can break it apart. All right, so now the hard part is waiting for it to cool. I usually push it to the middle of wherever I'm making it so nobody touches it, because even the cookie sheet is super hot right now. And then I just go do my dishes and get everything done. We need to let this cool for a couple hours until it's gonna turn clear and caramely looking. And then I'll be back to show you how we break it up and store it. Welcome back. It's been a couple hours and our peanut brittle is all cool. So we're gonna just take out the cooling rack. And the best way to get this out, and I just store it in these, I think this is a 8-cup container and has a lid on it. And half the time I just take it with us if we're going to a family gathering because we just eat out of this. But if you want to put it on a pretty bowl, feel free. All right, so we just take a butter knife and I just kind of wedge it underneath. Well, actually the first thing I'm going to do is hit it with the butt of the handle and crack it a little, and then it pops up. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. So it popped up. I always try to hit it with a knife because it is so sharp and glassy that I've actually gotten cut before. And then I just break it into bite-sized pieces and then you just put it in your bowl. Then I just keep going and it's gonna break up, and I'll even just hit it with my thumb under it. These are really delicious to eat. So once you get to the end and you have all of these delicious crumbs left, don't throw them out. I tell you, this is the roasted peanuts with a little bit of sugar on them. My grandma, on my dad's side, used to smash them up to smithereens, and they'd take vanilla ice cream and put it in balls, and then they'd roll the balls of ice cream in the peanut brittle and put them back in the freezer to freeze, and then she would serve them as dessert. It is so, so good. So I don't smash them to smithereens. Well, I do, but I use my food processor. I stick them in there. It's super loud, but it turns it almost into a like bread-like crumb size, and then we roll ice cream in it too, or you can just sprinkle it on top of your ice cream. That is super good too. So if you want extra special dessert with all these crumbs, do that because you won't be disappointed. Oh, man, now it's Christmas. So good. So I'll actually put this in a baggie and set it aside from this. And I just keep this in an airtight container. And when this is gone, I make another batch. All right. So thanks so much for joining me today as I showed you how to make peanut brittle. I hope it becomes a holiday tradition for you and your family as well. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any other episodes. Thanks for joining me today, and have a great night.
You have to go lay down because this is hot sugar. Mom said you have to clear the kitchen. You do. You have to clear. It's like she said kids and dogs have to clear, so you got to go. Go lay down. Come on, I'll help you. Let's go. Go lay down. Go on. Go lay down. Good boy. Okay, go to your spot. Oh, that is such a good boy. Good work, Denver. Now it's much safer. Good boy.
Okay, go to your spot.
Okay, then you gotta go to your spot still. Go to your spot and sit down.
Go sit down.
Good boy.
Gonna taste good, I know.
Take our password off.
I was gonna say.
Hey everybody, here's our password to our entire 60. Okay, we've used our wasted footage quota, so now it's time to start. I'm sorry, I got stuff to say. Okay, here we go.
Am I good? Am I straight?
You look marvelous.
Well, you said that last time and all my clothes were crooked.
Well, I still like you.
Yeah.
It's just the way you are. I just like you.
Peanut brittle is a long time tradition. Oh my gosh, long time. Again.
Tease.
You're
I'm sorry.
so mean.
I'm not trying to be mean. You can do better. I know it.
You come do this.
No, thank you.